One of the decades-old traditions of Mardi Gras here on Channel 4 is to have all of our anchors dress up on Mardi Gras Day and really become a part of that celebration on Fat Tuesday. And some of the great anchors here at Channel 4 are experts at costuming on Mardi Gras Day. They're joining me now. It's my pleasure to welcome back Carl Arredondo, the great Angela Hill, the wonderful Dennis Woltering, and the amazing Jim Henderson. Thank you all so much for joining us for what should be a regular Fat Tuesday, but we all know it's not, and that's why we're talking to you guys over Zoom.
Sounds great. Glad to be here.
Yeah, well, let's start talking about some of the old days. I was wondering, and I was asking some of our producers, how long have you guys been doing this, where you get in costumes and just get crazy on Mardi Gras Day?
You know, I think it actually started in 1976. I could be wrong on that, but I remember it was the co-anchor started in late 75, and I think Mr. Early came up with and Phil Johnson said, let's broadcast from Gallier Hall, across from Gallier Hall, and that started it with the costumes, and it was great fun.
And when did the male anchors start losing clothing in this process?
Carl was really the big
Carl.
I only did what I was told and what I was told to wear. That's all I did.
No, look at this picture. Guys, look at that.
That was the Sensations. Drew Brees and the Sensations.
That's exactly right, but they wanted to wear bras. And that's
well, not Jim. He didn't wear a bra. You'll know.
I just paid for those things, so I wanted to show them off.
That is one of the great pictures, I have to say, from Mardi Gras. Another, here we are with the Hornets, back when the Hornets were the Hornets and they were here.
Yep.
And they were the honeybees.
Yes.
That's right.
They were the cheerleaders. Again, let's talk bras.
But what was impressive is we had the actual lady from the honeybees come and get us our costumes and fit us for our costumes.
And Katie, you have to know that every year, the person who chose what we costumed as was Angela Hill.
No,
so
I
if it was risque, talk to Angela Hill.
So if anybody goes to jail, I'll take it. But it was, I'd come up with an idea, but they had to vote on it. So, and they were wonderful.
Well, we just wanted any excuse to wear women's clothing. So whatever you suggested and incorporated a thong or garter belt, anything like that, he was for.
Yeah.
I think the great thing was that there was a thought process into our costumes. It wasn't just 4 random anchors with different costumes on. There was a theme to it, and I always enjoyed that part of it. And that's what people remember, the theme that we came up with.
Yeah, and of course, Carl, you would be Ringo.
Absolutely.
And next, the 6'10" Stompers. This one's a classic, I have to say.
Yes, this is.
Was the great story.
Carl was a classic in this one too, I have to say.
I hated to miss that, I got to tell you, but you all were adorable.
Yeah, and the 6'10" Stompers loaned us some of their outfits, as I recall.
And nicknames.
Yes. What was your nickname, Carl?
I mean, those mullets are phenomenal, I just have to say. Really quickly, before we let the 4 of you go, each of you share a quick favorite Mardi Gras memory from doing coverage year after year. I know some years it's freezing, some years it's hot. You know, you just never know what you're going to get when you're planning those costumes. But quickly, share a favorite memory. Let's start with you, Angela.
You know, there are too many to remember, but something that always thrilled me was when I would see Dennis Woltering get a coconut, because that guy worked the Zulu parade like nobody else, and he would get a basket full. And it was just a thrill every time.
And Dennis, how about you?
Well, that was fun for me to see to get the coconuts and to see the people along the line, along the audience, you know, along St. Charles Avenue, and what we would give the coconuts to them, and you know, it was fun to collect all of that stuff and to be out there, you know, sort of performing with the people on parade. That's what it seemed like.
How about you, Jim?
Well, in the early 80s, I made the big mistake of wearing a Superman costume on a day when it might have been 29 degrees. And scientifically, you probably don't know this, but actually steel can shrink when it gets to be a and it took me the entire week to recover. It's too bad we aren't on this year because I started working on my costume.
Yes, you need it this year.
Yeah. Just like this, like I'm a juror.
Hey, you look familiar.
Oh, that's awesome. And how about you, Carl?
I think the thing that I'll always remember is that for me, it was always stressful getting there before they shut down the roads. But I knew once we were there and once we got started, it was nothing but fun. I always remember how much fun I had every Mardi Gras day with these guys next to me. So I'll always remember the fun times doing coverage with the three of these people that we have, the legends in this business.
Absolutely, and I know that I loved watching every minute of every one of you doing it, and I'm so glad that I got to chat with you guys about it today. If only we were celebrating on the Avenue today.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. We've had fun.
Thanks for being with us.
Man, it's so great to see all of them and talk about the costumes. I remember when I came back to Channel 4, that was the first thing that I wanted to do, costume for Mardi Gras, and I got to do it for the first time last year, and I cannot believe we got approval from the very own Dolly Parton.
Yep.
I mean, wasn't that exciting?
It was so fun. We had such a great time.
Yeah,
all of
it
us
was a
felt
blast.
well endowed.
Very much so.
And wonderful.
I don't know if mine would have
well
worked this
endowed.
year. It was,
You would have frozen your little tail off.
I would have definitely frozen my little cotton tail off.
Or something, Karen.
Chris, you looked amazing last year. I mean, look at you. I don't think you would have made it this year, though.
No,
with Dolly Parton.
When the producer comes in my ear and says, "Please stop grabbing yourself," because I had to keep making adjustments.
Yeah, you sure did. I didn't realize that.
The entire morning, I had to make adjustments.
It was great.
It was fun. So we've got a lot to work toward next year.
Yes, we do. We certainly do. You have to continue the Channel 4 tradition of the men wearing less and less.
Well, I don't like that tradition. We also want to take a look back at some of the morning crew's great costumes over the years, including the Golden Girls,
I
with
love
Sheba
it.
as
Oh, my
Blanche,
goodness.
Sally Ann as Rose, Laura Bucktail as Sophia, and Eric as Dorothy. She made a good Dorothy. Also, a great Goldilocks on the Three Bears with Eric, Sally, Laura, and Christina Leavenworth. And then, of course, Gilligan, Gilligan's Island.
I love that.
Frank Davis was the skipper, Sally as Ginger, Laura as Mary Ann.
So cute.
As we wrap up that segment, I'm just going to say Dennis and his coconuts.